Hello, everybody. Welcome to our film critique for today. And we are in the world of, animation. So, guess what film we're doing today? Drum roll, please. Encanto!
Yay!
I know, you're so excited for Encanto. So I'm going to give a little synopsis. It was released in 2021, and we're set in a magical Colombian village. And the story resolves around, the Madrigal family, each gifted with a unique power, except for Mirabel, who becomes the unlikely hero when the magic begins to fade. So this film was directed by Brian Howard and Jared Bush, with music by, guess who? Lin-Manuel Miranda himself. All right. So the cost was around 120 to 150 million to produce this amazing film, which was quite expensive, but I'm like the quality was there. So I'm not going to hate on that budget. And the main cast was Stephanie Beatriz as Mirabel Madrigal, and then Maria Cecilia Botero as Abuela, and then John Leguizamo as Bruno Madrigal, and then Diane Gruero, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but as Isabella Madrigal, and then Jessica Darrow as Luisa Madrigal, and then Wilmer Valderrama as Augustine Madrigal, and then Angie Cabeda as Julieta Madrigal. Lots and lots of characters. I'm telling you right now. All right. So this film won Best Animated Feature for Academy Awards, and it was nominated for Best Original Song for Dos Oruguitas. And I do love that song. Like it was a tearjerker at the end. And then for the Golden Globe Awards, excuse me, it won Best Animated Feature Film. And then at the Grammys, it won Best Compilation Soundtrack for Visual Media. All right. So for ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, it got a 91% approval rating. So it's pretty high. I personally would agree with that rating because I do love the movie. And then on IMDb, it got a 7.3 out of 10. And then for visuals and music, I'm sure it's a musical, so there's got to be music, right? It was praised for its vibrant animation and its rich details in the Madrigal house and dynamic color palette reflecting the Colombian culture. And then Lin Manuel's songs, like We Don't Talk About Bruno, became a cultural phenomena because I specifically remember, like, at the top of the chart, I was hearing We Don't Talk About Bruno. And then I remember Josslyn and we were singing We Don't Talk About Bruno right before this recording. All right. So what's your personal, like, thoughts about the movie as, like, a viewer, Jocelyn?
It was a great movie, I have to admit. That We Don't Talk About Bruno song got stuck in my head for like a solid week. I couldn't stop singing it. And my
Mhm.
friends are like, Jocelyn, you need to calm down. You like it's been like a month already. You need to calm down. I'm like, okay, I'll calm down. Like my bad. That was just my bad. But what about you?
I absolutely love this film. So, okay, funny story. I'm gonna admit this. I used to watch it every night before going to bed. Um, I think I can't even count. I think I'm over like 30 or 50 times watched. Like, if you turn on karaoke for any one of those songs, I think I could hit that right on the head. I'd be a pop star for that. So, I'm gonna go into like pros and cons, the strengths and weaknesses. What notes did you have for this movie?
Sorry?
What did you think were like the strengths for this movie?
Oh, okay. I definitely think the animation was really good. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was really bright and colorful. I
Mm-hmm.
also think it portrayed the like culture pretty well. But like then again, I'm not really like from that culture, so I can't really
Uh-huh.
say anything about it. It might be inaccurate. So like tell me if I'm wrong or something. But I think they portrayed it pretty well.
Uh-huh.
Um, I also like the characters, but one thing I do have to say, which is bringing me to my cons, is
Mm-hmm.
there's too many characters in this story. Like I don't even remember like the names of any of them except for Maribel and Abuela. and Isabella. Or I don't know. Is that her name?
Yeah.
Isabella or Isabel? Yeah, one or the
Yeah.
other, guys. As you
One
can
or the
clearly tell,
other.
I can't tell. Yeah, I can't tell who is who at this point. Like, I know they look really different and have different
Mhm.
names, but like, can you really blame me? There's like 12 of them or something.
Okay, like I do see your point here because I did struggle a little bit with their names when watching it, but like I got the hang of it. But I do think it was their intention to kind of represent a big family and like represent how ignored Mirabelle was because I remember I was getting a little tear jerked at her first song when she's singing about like why is she the only one left out? Like she's the only like person that doesn't have powers. And I was like, I feel you, girl. I feel you. Like like do you need a hug? All right. So for my strengths, I will have to agree vibrant animation. I do completely love like the animation artists. Hats off to y'all. Amazing. But okay, budget was like 150 million. Like the quality was expected for the animation, but I was pleasantly surprised also with like the cultural representation that you were talking about. I do think they depicted it quite well. I think I watched a video about that and they were talking about how the team actually went to Colombia to for like 5 years, I believe, and they did like research to see like specifically how they could kind of intertwine and add like the theme of Colombian culture into the movie itself. So I think that they hit that like right on the nail. And then for my last point that I thought was really strong was the emotionally resonant themes. Because once again, I think that the theme was really like intentional with Mirabelle being the only one left out. And it kind of um adds to like the emotion of it, but also like how many characters in the family, like yes, I know that, but I think it's relatable for some people because like they feel kind of left out with all their siblings that might be like better than them or like performing better, having better grades or more talented. Like I think truly that's something what I relate to as well. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I can't say anything about that. I'm an only child, so.
Oh, lucky duck.
Got want a sibling though. Like they
She
might
gets all
seem
the
annoying.
attention.
Ah, yeah, me. Me.
Kung Fu Panda, who's the dragon warrior? It's me. All right. So next, okay, I'm sorry. I am literally talking so much, but I'm gonna read some critical comments from notable critics, and I want you to give some comments on each of these. So
Okay.
Peter Bradshaw from The Guardian said, "A joyous animation, heartwarming and visually thrilling, a celebration of family and self-discovery." And then Richard Roper from the Chicago Sun-Times says the story's unique blend of magic and realism and family drama sets it apart from typical animated fare. And then lastly, Clarice Lowry from Independent says that Encanto is the rare Disney film where the stakes feel deeply personal rather than cosmic.
I agree with all three. Like the first one, yeah, it's really bright, it's really fun,
Uh-huh.
everything's cool. I mean, if they actually spent 5 years in Colombia, I'm pretty sure they would know that. So we're gonna we're just gonna assume that it's accurate. And then the second one, I definitely do believe it's like a mix of magic and realism. Cause
Mhm.
like honestly, but like, do people actually have like 12 other siblings in
Okay,
like other than in cartoons?
maybe not 12, but oh, I do know a family that has 12, but I think some people around me, they have, like, 4 or 5 siblings, like 3, 4, 5, and I think what Disney did was, like, add so many siblings to kind of, like, make a drastic feel to it and kind of exaggerate it, but do you believe that their theme that they had there was kind of realistic compared to other, like, Disney princess movies, which are like, "Oh no, I have royal issues. Couldn't be me." But like the actual theme in Encanto was somewhat relatable, rarely, but somewhat relatable in real life. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it was definitely. okay, well, obviously I don't have siblings, but like, just imagine you're in like a group of friends or something, and then they're
Uh-huh.
all like, oh, you know how like there's some group of friends that there's
Mhm.
like an even amount of people and an odd amount of people? There's that
Mhm.
one person that's just standing there alone, and while everyone is just in duos talking to each other, I'm
Yes.
like, oh, okay, this is really awkward. Like, what are you supposed to do? Just stand there? And then
Uh-huh.
like it gets all awkward and stuff. So I feel like that is like really relatable. But like obviously you can't really say anything about magic because
Mhm.
like I mean, guys, magic is real. Trust. Just not like being really, really strong to lift up like that piano behind me right there, and to like I don't know, lift up a house. Like that's just not real, obviously.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, it's a really good mix between realism and just magic in general. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Love that. I'm gonna hand it off to you. I know you have some thoughts about like their character and like development and like, kind of the plot in general and the pros and cons, of course.
Okay. The first thing that I read when I was like looking over the reviews was
Uh-huh.
that people said it came with too much hype and was overrated.
Uh-oh.
So, Ian, what's your opinion on that? Since I know you love this movie so much.
I'm gonna I know. I'm gonna admit that it was a little overhyped. I know it pains me to say, but it was a little overhyped. But I'm a true Encanto fan, so I'm gonna defend this one. I'm gonna say
Okay,
it was overhyped, yes, but like the movie, it was art. It was a masterpiece. Like that music, I was repeating it on a day-to-day basis. So y'all cannot argue with me for this one. I yes, I agree, slightly overrated, but I don't think that it was like overrated to the point where it's like, oh, this is it. But I think they delivered. Like they said they would and they delivered.
talking about the music choices of
Uh-huh.
you singing it every single day.
Mm.
People said that they had a really poor choice of music, and it was really like poppy-ish.
Oh, okay. Well, for that, we might have to blame Lin-Manuel Miranda. I love that man. He is an amazing songwriter. I'm sure you've heard other works, In the Heights, Hamilton, genius songwriter, Moana as well. But I do think that I love his music. I will have to argue against this one though, because his music yes, like, it did have his own personal pop style, but personally, as an audience member, I kind of enjoyed it, and I kinda liked how he tried his best to add Colombian elements to the music, right? Because it's not always easy to just put in some culture like, "Hey, I want to write a song that sounds like Japanese culture." Like, I know he definitely put in the I know he definitely put in the work to learn about the culture and the music background, so yes, there's always people who are going to say it could be improved, but I think personally Lynn did an amazing job by like he had a mission, he was told what to do and he delivered. Like he said I can do it and he did it.
I agree. Yeah, yeah. Okay, another thing that people did complain about was the
Uh-huh.
message you sent to children. At
Mhm.
first, I didn't think much of it, of the theme of Encanto, because low key, all you think about when you hear of Encanto is like, oh, there's this girl that just got rejected by her family. That's the theme. Like,
Uh-oh.
respect people, you know?
Uh-huh.
But then this random person online wrote, it's
Mhm.
giving off the impression that as long as you have enough trauma, you can treat someone as badly as you want. And that person has to accept it. And for me
Mhm.
personally, as someone who's lived through that, it is not as lovely as the movie makes it seem. So like
Mhm.
that just made me look at it in a whole different perspective because like it kind of makes sense. But like
Mhm.
if they never mentioned this, I would have just thought Encanto was like that fun uh uh tossing that child to the side kind of thing. But
Uh-huh.
like they made me see it in a whole different perspective. So
Yeah.
like what about you?
Okay. Well, I think, of course, to any Disney movie, there's a little like overkill. Like it's very glamorous. It's not quite realistic, but I think in terms comparing this to other of like Snow White, Frozen, like their other movies, this is a rather heavy theme or topic. And I think it's more realistic, but also I'm not sure if I completely agree with the saying that like it was not a good theme or good message because yes, it could be that they delivered this message that didn't resonate with everybody, but I don't think that children would have the deductive reasoning or like overanalyze the film to that point. Like I as a viewer, I genuinely think that a nice film is a nice film. Like it's an enjoyment with the family. So
Yeah, I feel like this girl, she was like probably like about to sleep, and she was just like thinking about the movie, and she's like, "Wait, what if you think about it in a different perspective?" And I'm like, "Why would you just ruin that for every single other person on this earth
yeah,
that's watched Encanto?" Like it, it was a good theme. It was like kind of dark, but like, why would you make the whole theme seem like it's dark? Like I know
yeah,
that Abuela had like a lot of trauma and
mm,
stuff, but like you can't treat someone like and just reject them like that. But like
yeah,
honestly, at this point, I think you're just overthinking the theme if you're saying that. So like,
yeah.
I don't really know. Okay,
Well, on yeah, I I just think that like I completely agree with you, but to any movie, I think there does have to be an antagonist. So
yeah.
Abuela was the one who received the hate, unfortunately, this time.
Oh, can we talk about Abuela? Oh my God,
Oh,
I beef with her so much. No offense to her, she's a nice old lady, but like, okay, I don't know about nice, but like, she's an old lady
I think
that shouldn't have been forgiven so fast. Because the way
yeah,
she
that
treated
was
Maribel was so messed up.
messed up, period. I was like I was remember distinctly a scene where Mirabelle is helping with setup with like okay, she was helping set up with for her younger brother's party where he gets like his powers revealed, right? So she's getting like the candles on like a table mat in front of these doors, right? And she's like lighting the candles, and then Abuela comes out, and then she accidentally knocks over one of the candles, and then okay, it lights on fire, and then Abuela's like, "How about we leave things to people who are actually good at them?" And I'm like, "Dang, dang, that got real quick. That got real quick." But once again, yes, I do believe Abuela took it a little far, but she's the one who kind of brings the reality side to the movie.
Yeah, I agree. But like I feel like if this was like a real life kind of case thing, which
Mhm.
obviously it probably did happen to other people before,
Mhm.
but like it's just so messed up. Like don't dump your trauma in some other your grandkid. Like oh, you can't do that. Like poor kid thought she did something wrong, but it's no, it's because of
Yeah.
you. Because you have your little trauma moment and you think everything's about you. So like you can't just trauma dump on your grandkid, especially.
Like bad example for parenting first of all. And if you need a trauma dump with a candy salad. Be so for real.
Exactly. Like, why are you dumping it on your grandkid? They did nothing to you. Oh my God.
All right. Well, on the note of themes, I'm gonna talk about kind of what I got from it. So this explores intergenerational trauma and like expectations and self-worth, which is why I was like, this is kind of a brutal movie, to be honest. Like it's enjoyment for kids, like they do enjoy it, but for somebody who's older who knows how to kind of recognize the themes and like look at the patterns, I was like, wow, I completely resonate with this.
Well, yeah, I think the theme was just basically like, honestly, I don't know what I get from it. Cause like Encanto is
Mhm.
just basically Maribel getting mistreated by Abuela, and then Abuela just giving all her love to
Oh,
everyone.
her love.
All her love, her whole heart to everyone else except for Maribel.
Yeah, I was
So like,
like,
I was kind of just focusing on that. I'm like, girl,
mhm.
you're so messed up in so many levels. Like,
I
you
was
gotta fix that attitude.
I was like, who is the person who actually had issues here? Abuela or Mirabelle?
Oh,
Um,
voila! God, she has her trauma. She can't let go of it.
I love the symbolism though, because the house casita, it symbolizes like the family, right? Because
Yeah.
on the outside, it seems really sturdy. Like all the village people are like, love you, thank you so much. Like you're a blessing to our village. But on the other side, like we see the cracks in the house, right? Like it begins to crack. And we kind of experience like it symbolizes the family, like, tearing each other apart, like, the pressure that goes on in the family and Casita eventually, like, breaking down and, like, cracking and crumbling, like, it's such a large symbol of kind of the emotional roller coaster that the family truly goes through.
Yeah, definitely. Because like take Isabella for Isabella? Isabella? Okay,
The
whatever.
perfect
You guys
child.
know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the perfect child.
The
Okay,
perfect
anyways, Abuela, she like treated her like I can't really tell if it was good or bad. Because
Mhm.
Abuela was trying to make her marry what's his name? Like Antonio? No.
Something
It's
toxic
yes,
relationship, toxic
yes,
man,
that guy. That
toxic
guy with the big
masculinity.
nose. Yes, that guy. The one with the really broken nose.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that one, didn't Abuela like want her to get married to that guy? So like
Mhm.
I feel like it's just forced marriage, so like that's not even treating your grandkid right. And also,
100%.
but since she's like the perfect child, Abuela does treat her good in some ways. So like I don't really know what to think anymore. I think Abuela just has like a bad and good side for her grandchildren, I guess.
Favorites, just like teachers.
Literally, she literally calls Isabella the perfect child. I wonder who's the favorite in this case, guys. Like
Alright.
put two and two together.
All right. Just to kind of speed this up, I'm going to talk about like the 3 points once again that I found and I think could be improved from the view as like a critic. So, number one, I think broader exploration of family members because we talked about time and time again in this in this kind of session. We're like so many characters, it's hard to keep track of them. And I'm like, yes, it does add to the theme, but does it really? Like, are they using it to their full capability? Because what I'm feeling is like characters like Luisa are kind of underused because they have so many options and characters to explore. I don't really see the point in adding so many characters because if you're just going to use them as background and not kind of explore them, then what's the point of introducing them? Um, and then the second one was the narrative cohesion. So lots of people noted holes in the plot because they were talking about the film's climax and then like falling action felt abrupt. And this ties into my third thing, pacing issues. When I was watching the movie, I was like, love this, love that. But kind of the clock was like moving, like sometimes it's slow, and then like we're up to the climax now, and then we're moving, falling action, and then we're down to this Disney ending resolution. Don't get me wrong, I do love Disney endings, but it felt kind of unexplored, you know? Like it felt so much for audiences to wonder and like imagine what would happen. So I just think it just gave too much leverage for people to wonder about and it didn't truly resolve what the big problem was.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming I go now. My three
Yeah.
things. So first, Ian, I'm very sorry, but I have to say it's really overrated. I'm
Ugh.
sorry.
It's
It's
okay. It's
guys,
okay.
don't take that
You can
personally.
you can have your opinion. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes. Okay. So honestly, when I watched it, it
Mhm.
so many people they were like, "Oh, it's a great movie. It's really like real, but also not real at the same time." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." Because normally I don't give like, okay, obviously I love animation. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. Like top, I love animation. But like I normally don't settle for like kind of like the magical fairy tale kind of ones. Like I don't
Mhm.
like watching Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast or
Mhm.
the lovey-dovey ones, whatever. Those
Lovey-dovey.
I I hate those. I only like thriller, well not thriller, but like there's actually something you wait for, like Kung Fu Panda. Like there's actually
Mhm.
action in it. But I was like,
Mhm.
since so many people liked it so much, I'll just give it a chance. So I watched it, and honestly, it wasn't it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. I think that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was really overrated, overhyped.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Secondly, I mentioned this so many times. There's too many people. I literally
Oh.
pulled up a picture. I pulled up a picture and I
Mhm.
counted, okay? I
You
counted. There were
counted.
like, yes, I counted,
Oh
okay?
my.
There was like there was like six or seven characters that were
Uh-huh.
barely using it. It was like Maribel's mom,
Mm.
Maribel's dad, that one guy in the middle of that Bruno song, and
Yeah.
then yes, and then the kid that got his like power, he
Mhm.
was there on the screen for like 10 minutes and he was gone.
Mhm.
Like I didn't know where the heck he went. And then
Yeah.
the two that got married, like the orange haired one and the other guy, I don't know his
Felix.
name.
Yeah, Felix and Julieta, I think.
Yeah. Them.
Yeah.
They I didn't see them pop up for like the whole time except for the songs. Like they completely
Mm.
vanished, and I didn't know where any of the other characters went. So I don't think it was really necessary to add
Uh-huh.
these many characters. Cause like you could have just like skipped over a couple lines. The
Mm.
movie, yeah, would have been probably shorter, like taking away all those lines. But like
Mhm.
they get like 1 minute of screen time. What's the point of creating a whole like new person just to display them for 1 minute?
Yeah.
Also, the names were confusing me so much if you couldn't tell by now. So like
Yeah.
a couple people gotta go.
You're
And
like that one over there. You're like the orange-haired one, the short
you gotta
one,
go. Leave.
the the one that can hear things.
Oh, I remember her. Her name's Doris or something. Wait, Doris? I don't know.
Wait, Dolores.
It's Dolores. Yes,
Dolores.
her. See, I was close enough, guys. Like,
Doris.
guys, no one has to know.
No one has to
I
know.
played
All
a
right.
Doris, so that's like just mixed in my mind. Okay. Anyways, my third one is
Mhm.
Abuela. She
Abuela.
ah, they should have
Ah.
forgiven her so fast. Like,
Mhm.
she just trauma dumped on you, and then you're like, it's okay. I understand. Even though I never trauma dumped on you before, but I understand because I'm a
I
nice
don't
human being.
understand. I, for one, do not
Exactly.
understand.
You treated me like trash, and you're asking for forgiveness now after what? How many years? Let's see. How old is
My
Maribel?
like her literal lifetime.
Exactly. Like, how'd you forgive her in the past like 5 seconds? Like a
It's
freaking they
okay,
hugged,
Abuela.
a
It's okay.
butterfly like flew, and then that was their makeup scene. They
All
hugged and a
right.
butterfly flew away.
Let Disney have its ending. Disney ending.
Okay, yeah, I know it's supposed to have a good ending, but like, uh, like it could have been one of those scenes where you're like, you treated me really poorly for these past couple of years, and I want to take time to think about if I'm gonna forgive you or not. Like, get a sincere apology out of Abuela,
Uh-huh.
because she all she said was sorry. This happened to me, that happened to me, and my love of my life died.
Okay, like
Uh,
womp womp. I would be like, if I were Mirabelle, I'd be like, I'm gonna have my attorney get back to you in a few months. Like, I gotta think about this.
exactly. Like, just leave you, like, just ghost you for a couple of months, and then I'll think about it if I forgive you or
Genuinely.
not.
All right.
Exactly. Like, you
So
can't just
wrapping
say
this
I
up.
forgive without. Oh, my bad.
Oh, good. No. Wait,
Oh,
continue.
okay.
Continue.
Okay. My last thing that I'm gonna say,
Uh-huh.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh my god. All I know is I was ranting about Abuela. Okay, anyways, you can end this.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else?
No.
All right. Okay. So wrapping up, let's just summarize its cultural impact and then its appeal and kind of resonance with lots of people. So I'm just gonna say, like, I love this movie. I think it's definitely like an entertaining thing. Kind of saved Disney from dying for a second. um, I'm gonna say that this was a little realistic, honestly, for quite rare for a Disney movie, actually, because usually we're talking about some cosmic theme or some like princess problems. Not relatable to me, but I think that this was definitely something that people could relate to, and it also exposed and kind of shed light to Colombian culture, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, definitely. I also would say it was a great movie. Animation was on point.
On
But
point.
honestly, like, they had like a big budget though. So like I think they like served what we expected.
Yeah,
So
like
that was good.
once again, we asked, they delivered.
Exactly. Like they based on their budget, they gave what we all expected. And a
Yeah.
little bit like more than that. So that's like good. And then I would say the theme was pretty
Mhm.
good, except for that girl that was like overthinking the whole thing. Like it's making me overthink now, and I don't even know what's like what to think about it anymore. But before I read her comment or like review,
Uh-huh.
whatever, I did believe that it had a pretty good like amount of magic and realism at the same
Magic.
time.
Yeah.
Magic. La 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 la. Pixie dust. Okay. Okay, so that's it for today, right?
I
You
think
have
so.
anything else to say? Okay.
Um,
Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
bye. Thank you so much.